we want to see the practicality on how arches or on how an arch distributes its load. So an arch distributes the weight, or an arch distributes the load, that is by transferring the load along its curved shape, pushing the weight outwards and downwards to the supporting structure at the end. So for example, this is our arch here. So our arch here is just a timber arch. It's a sample of an arch. It's only that we want to show how an arch distributes the load. So this is the loading that we have actually imposed on top of the arch. So this weight will be distributed, that is along the curvature. So the load will be distributed along the timber, that is on the curved shape, towards that one support and also towards this other support. So we are assuming that is our arch and it is carrying a load, and that is how it is distributing the load. So effectively the arch distributes the forces across a wider area and allowing it to support heavy loads over large spans. Actually, that is one of the advantages of arches, that it can distribute a wide, or rather a heavy load at a wider span. So you can see that is the arch. It's just a timber arch, and this timber, you can see it is carrying this load without failure. It is able to carry the load without failure. Why is it able to carry the load without failure? I have told you that an arch will distribute its load, that is in line with the curvature. So this load is being distributed, that is along that curve, towards one support, and also the other side it is distributing that load towards that curve, that is to the other support. So the curve design of an arch, it allows it to primarily handle compressive forces, which are more easily managed by most construction materials compared to tension force. So the compression force actually acts more on an arch as compared to tensile force. So you can see that distribution of the load, it will be a compression force that is towards the curved area. So it will be a compressive force, not a tensile force. So you see the load is being distributed towards that curvature, or rather along that curvature towards the support. So it is compressing. So that is a compression force as well as a compression force on this other side. So that is how an arch actually is able to carry the load, or rather it is able to distribute the load. So our arch here, from this loading that you can see, the loading that we have exerted on our arch, this loading is being distributed, or rather this weight is being carried in a way that compression force, because you see the arch has assumed a curvature force. So this loading is actually trying to bring the curvature into a flat shape, but which is not possible. So that loading, it is pushing downwards. So the moment it is pushing downwards, then this load follows this curvature. So it is distributed, that is through the curvature to the support. And now when it distributes that load towards, along the curvature, it is a compression force. So it is actually forcing this curvature downwards. So it is a compression force along that curvature. So this compression force, it is exerted to the support at the end. So this compression force, so we have a compression force here that is due to this loading, and also we have a compression force at this other end that is due to this loading. So that is how an arch, or that is how arches actually distribute their loadings, or rather the load. I hope it is well understood. Thank you. All right, now this is our arch without the loading on top of it. So we want to assume, or rather we want to push, we want to put some pressure or some load on top of it, and then we see how that shape will tend to actually take another shape, or rather how it will tend to stretch. Okay, try to push. So you can see, if we push the arch, assuming that that is the loading, remove your hand again, remove. You see it comes backwards up. Okay, put your hand, put the pressure. When we put the pressure, it tends to bulge towards the side. So that is how it distributes the load. So the load is distributed through that curvature to the end of the support. So it's a compression force that is being distributed towards the end of the support. Okay, remove the hand, we see. So you see it comes back to its original shape. Therefore, that is how arches distribute their loads.